third page here is effects. Okay, the way I have it laid out, effect 1 is exclusive to JP's wedge because he needs to have his own mix of effects of his vocals in order to achieve a optimal performance each Sunday. So he has his own mix engine, effects engine. Mix 2 is the backup singers and some JP over here. Okay, mix 3 is basically strictly for the house mix effects. This doesn't go to any wedges. So like if I wanted to have a touch, another layer in the house, I turn this up a bit. And this is a de-esser. A large percentage of singers performers have issues with too much sibilance versus too little. So sometimes they'll like the really high frequencies will kind of burn you. The de-esser will attack those frequencies before they get to an output. So I have JP going through this de-esser. Now the way it's going is I have to this is going to be his main volume versus this right here.
So you keep this one basically at unity, and then that is where you kind of up and down.
Yes.
Because it's the final gate for the signal.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the way I have it laid out right now. That may change in the future, but right now this arrangement is achieving the best result each Sunday. With audio, there's many ways of doing one single thing, and it's all going to be confusing if we get into those. But the best way to go about it is how are we doing it now? Is it working? Let's move on.
Okay.
So that's how we're doing with the effects page. Okay.
All right. And where do the effects come from?
The effects come from right here. If you need to change any of the effects, you push the effects button, and then this is lays out all the effects engines we have available. Okay. Now, 4 of the effects engines are being used as effects. The other ones are used as EQs. There's the main left-right EQ here. The graphic 5 and 6 I have it for the wedges, and then 7 are here. I guess I'm not using it at all, so I can use it for something else if I want to later on. But we'll get into that later. Okay. Okay. Now on effects page, bus 9. This right here is the broadcast and recording mix. Normally you see this as a matrix. I keep this as a bus so I can have a little bit more control over it. Now if you want to take a look at what's going into it, I'll select it. Sends on fader. Everything is coming at it at a pretty hot level at unity, except for certain things. I think I had issues with too much keys last time into it. Yeah. So with audio, there's different layers of control. There are different mixes. You have your house mix, which goes through which goes through the PA, and then out into the room. The room affects how it sounds. Notice these aren't at unity because with the effect of the room, the stage amplifiers, everything that affects how it sounds in the room. However, if you record that specific output, it doesn't sound very good because it's not going through the room. So this mix right here, this is just the raw feed of everything without having to go through the room, and so the broadcast mix would sound better than the house mix.
And where does that broadcast end up?
Broadcast ends up in the computer
for streaming.
For streaming, as well as this USB recorder, so we can hear that as well. That's going to be another chapter as well. Okay.
And it also ends up out in the lobby TVs.
Lobby TVs and fireside room once we get that working without the buzz.